Let's talk to a global technology specialist now. Nomura's Richard Windsor joins us live from Dubai. Richard, great to speak to you. Overall, are you concerned that a global recession will actually hit a lot of these tech companies quite hard? We were disappointed with the IBM figures.
Well, I mean, the thing about IBM, I think if you look at the stock reaction, it's more about IBM's been such a good performer. It's had very good sets of numbers this quarter, and this quarter it didn't raise the bar that much, and I think there's a little bit of disappointment around that. Digging a bit more deeply into the figures, some areas of some concern, IT services bookings were down on last quarter at around about 12.3 billion. And what that does raise, it raises a little bit of a question mark surrounding the outlook for 2012, particularly for the IT spend from enterprises, which has been phenomenally strong this year. And also, if you look at what VMware said on their conference call last night, also raising a little bit of caution for 2012. It's something we've been aware of, but looking for the rest of this year, you know, the IT services and software names are going to perform very strongly, so we're not too worried yet. We just have this slight worry about budget cuts next year.
And Richard, overall, are there companies that actually you prefer to IBM? The companies, I mean, we seem to have troubles everywhere, if it were HP or anything else, but maybe some of them are just fitting in better because we're focused more on emerging markets.
Well, not necessarily that, but I think also what you have to look at in this environment is what kind of economic scenario are many of these stocks pricing in. And this is what we did for certainly for our software and IT services coverage. We assumed that Europe is 0, we assumed that North America is 1% growth next year. And on the back of that, you know, we can see upside for Oracle, for Salesforce, we can see upside for Infosys, HCL Tech, and so we think a lot of these stocks have actually already priced in a fairly cautious scenario for next year.
In terms of what we're seeing for the iPhone, a big disappointment where the iPhone 4S came out, but I was actually also walking in front of an Apple store and there was a queue outside to get the 4S, and it seems to have sold more than the iPhone 4. So are we going to be surprised on the upside?
Well, this is the interesting thing, is I think that the market watchers, by and large, were looking for a huge or a large upgrade to the hardware, something brand new, and what we really got was a much smaller upgrade. But quite frankly, you know, I was of the opinion that a larger upgrade was not necessarily needed. The iPhone 4 is still fairly cutting edge, and I think the market has really voted with its feet. You know, it looks like Apple has sold 4 million of these things in the first weekend, whereas the iPhone 4 only sold about 1.7. So disappointment maybe from the experts and the bloggers, but quite frankly from the people on the street, they're certainly excited about it.
Richard, give me your 3 top picks, if you have them, of companies that actually are going to outperform the tech companies.
Well, certainly in global tech, we would point to Samsung Electronics globally. We would also point to Salesforce.com, and certainly also Oracle would be probably our 3 top picks in global tech.
And the 3 that actually you're very concerned about and you wouldn't touch with a barge pole?
Certainly, and longer term we continue to be very concerned about Nokia. We're a little bit concerned about VMware in terms of its longer term outlook, and certainly some of the second line DRAM names also out in Asia also look like they're really going to struggle as the DRAM price starts to turn.
All right, Richard, great to speak to you. Richard Windsor there.